You're listening to Nocturne. I'm Vanessa Lowe. Our dreams can allow us to experience things that are impossible. Yeah, some dreams take us where we'd rather not go, but others invite us into a world filled with joy and ease and wonder. They connect us to a forgotten part of ourselves. It feels realer than real, this realm we can only inhabit when we're sleeping, this place where so many go back again and again to feel ourselves lighten and rise as we lift off and take flight.
I can fly, I can rise above it all.
I can fly over the tops of trees.
I was flying.
Sometimes in my dreams, I realize I can fly.
Wow, I can do this. Life's never going to be the same. I can fly now.
It's almost like my body has a memory of being able to fly.
When I was a kid, I dreamt of flying. I dreamt of all sorts of flying. My favourite dream of flying was actually not flapping, not arms straight ahead, Superman style, not like a plane.
I never fly like Superman or like a bird.
But running.
I have to get a really good running start
along a concrete path.
And I generally bend my knees and sort of launch myself up into the air a bit,
watching the ground fly beneath me.
I'm running along the street at speed, and all of a sudden this power surges through my body.
And then I take that one step that just somehow liberated me and lifted me from the ground.
This lightness infused my ankles and my feet just lifted off the ground. And before I knew it, I was flying.
I control my weight by tightening the muscles in my chest and torso. I just sort of tighten those muscles and I start to lift off. And
I can spread my arms like wings out to the sides like the wings of a bird would be.
My arms are lifted up, tilting my head a certain way, kind of like lining up my back or my spine like this coil. It's like tuning my bone structure and my nervous system to this space.
While I'm launching in to my leap, I'm doing these twists and somersaults and turns.
You're soaring above the ground.
Leaping, running.
If I could get up enough speed, I could get off the ground, and then it would take a lot for me to come down again.
There's nothing holding me back. I'm defying gravity and the laws of physics.
I'm moving effortlessly above and below and up and down, and there's not really any sense of like flapping of wings.
At first, I feel like I have to kind of struggle my way through the air, like the air is really thick and I have to pull myself through it. I have to work really hard to get above the buildings and the telephone poles. Once I'm up past a certain point, it gets really easy and I'm able to kind of soar and glide and it feels effortless.
Wow, I'm like weightless and I can just kind of cruise around, and you're looking down and you're like, I am like over my house and I'm like over the city.
I can usually zoom up really high, like many times higher than the trees, and really get a perspective from way up in the air. Although sometimes I'm flying right around the height of the tops of the trees, kind of zooming in and out around them.
I go over the tops of these very big trees like oak and poplar trees, and I can see the tops of the trees very well. So every single little leaf.
A sort of microgravity effect where I can make myself so light that I can jump up, and rather than falling, I just gently float down.
When I was a child, the trickiest bit to flying was launching, getting myself off the ground. And it always involved a special set routine that I had to get just right. Kind of like a 1, 2, 3 launch.
I've had big bouncing dreams. It's weird, it's like all this mix of people and their birds. And all of my dreams take place sort of either dusk or dawn, and so it was that time. And I just, for some reason, went up, and I was bouncing. And I finally figured out how to harness it, so I went up, then I came back down. Then I was able to just squat and push myself back off. And it was kind of like if you're in a pool and you swim down and then you can just push yourself off the bottom of the pool and go back up.
People are watching me from afar. They've got expressions of awe on their faces, and I'm feeling the awe as well because I know what I'm doing is extraordinary.
I just go up and it's like everybody's like, whoa! And then I remember the next day I wrote an instruction manual on how to bounce like in the dream, like cartoon figures, and it's like figure 1, crouch, figure 2, jump, figure 3, let yourself float high into the air.
I was being held captive in some sort of a large industrial building. And I'd come up with a plan to escape, and I managed to get myself outside the building. And then I realized that for whatever reason, this building was located in the middle of a zoo, and that I had somehow gotten myself into an enclosure with a hippopotamus. This hippopotamus starts charging at me from across the enclosure. And it suddenly occurred to me, like, I can fly. That's it, I'll just fly up. So I launched myself up into the air and was feeling really good about that, like, okay. And I turned around and looked down, and there was the hippopotamus right below me. And it crouched down for a second and then launched up after me into the air. And I actually woke up laughing that a hippopotamus could also fly and was flying up after me.
I was at some kind of dance festival, and I realized that I was naked. Of course, everybody starts noticing. And so I'm like, I gotta get out of here. And there's like 100,000 people, and it's just mobbed. And then I'm like, maybe if I could just kind of hop on over there. And I jumped, and I'm like, oh, wow, I can fly. This is gonna be great. I can get the heck out of here. But then I'm like, actually, flying is like the worst because I'm up in the air. No, nobody wants to see some like middle-aged dude flying over his head naked.
In my dreams, it's not even a situation, but an entire sensation within me. A big rush before this black, gaping void swallows me whole. I've been told if you hit the bottom, you die. I don't believe that. I always felt like it's this untouchable essence inside me, just checking up, just brushing with my bare consciousness. Like something in me is speaking a language, and the only way I can try to understand it at all is through almost flying.
I can levitate and hover above the ground.
And there's this floating sensation. So it's not just as if I have wings.
I'm more like a soap bubble.
Like I'm weightless. And I can hover sometimes like that too.
Sometimes I'll just hover above the ground, just inches away from it.
And not go very fast, but I'm still flying up in the air.
And I'll touch the earth with my toes or my fingers and push, and I'm off again on my next launch.
I would take off and I would be flying up high, but the way I was flying is I'm actually doing the breaststroke like you would do if you were swimming.
Almost more like swimming through the air.
I kind of do a breaststroke, like I'm swimming.
It's a realm where swimming and flying are, one thing, because it's like I'm in a medium that supports me on all sides.
I was surrounded by mist and cloud. I couldn't see anything.
I'm picturing a sort of blue sky, green hills, fluffy cumulus clouds kind of landscape, which I guess sounds sort of Teletubbies.
There's always a lot of weather, a lot of crazy going on. Clouds and tornadoes.
It was raining, the wind had picked up, and I was leaning into the weather trying to get up this hill. I had a handkerchief in one and a scarf in another, and they turned into sails.
It's like a transparency. It's like one moment I'm in this world of time and space where things are opaque, and then I'm in this realm where I see all around the world. I'm seeing rings within rings within rings of movement.
And it's quite nice. I'm having a lot of fun. I feel very invigorated. It's very peaceful. I'm sort of amazed, and I'm very pleased.
I associate all the dreams with a good feeling.
Freedom.
Effortless freedom.
It just feels like the most natural thing in the world when I'm up there.
This is going to be one of my favorite things to do from here on out.
And it always feels kind of natural. Like I come to this sudden thought, well, of course I can fly.
And I'm in my element. I'm in my element.
Deep joy.
The sensation is so realistic. It's so vivid to me that I really feel like I know what it's truly like to fly.
Oh, if it could only be this way.
It's the best feeling in the world. I'm sure we're meant to fly.
You've been listening to Nocturne. I'm Vanessa Lowe. Nocturne is produced by me and was created by myself and Kent Sparling, who also composed the theme music. Thank you to the flyers who told their stories. Kyra Zavia, Jane Mopin-Binen, Jacob Lewis, Lisa Peslich, Dana Albert, Robin Galante, Rosalie Wadecki, Maurice Tanney, Walker Brents, Finn Sparlow, Winnie Dunn, and Stephanie Rubin. You can find information about the music in this episode at nocturnepodcast.org. And you can find links there to support Nocturne on Patreon or PayPal. We really, really need your help, so please go now to nocturnepodcast.org and click Donate. Another way to help is by rating and reviewing Nocturne on iTunes. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Nocturne is a proud founding member of The Herd, a collective of fantastic storytelling podcasts from around North America. Find out more about The Herd at theherdradio.com. That's HEARD. Thanks for listening.
Hello, can I talk in a British accent?
No, please talk in your normal voice.
Okay, well...